And I'll tell you guys since we're all friends. Every character I write has a piece of me in them. Hi, I'm Lee Bardugo. You're listening to the GrishaCast.
Welcome to GrishaCast, episode 89. In this episode, we will be discussing chapters 21 through 23 from the book Rule of Wolves. This is your host, Eric.
And I'm Terry from Nashville, Tennessee. This is your podcast for all things Grishaverse.
A world created for the whole reason of this podcast, Lee Bardugo. Voice of a Untitled
Hello.
Oh, Terry, Milo, that caught me off guard.
Hello, listeners. This is why you should listen, or this is why you should watch YouTube.
Oh my God.
Because it's October and we dress up every single week.
Yeah. So real quickly, let's do some listener cities.
Yes. First, we are saying hello and thank you to Belleville, South Africa.
Next, we're moving on to Albany Creek, Australia.
Yay!
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, yes, it is our first episode that we are doing our Grishaversary, Oktoberfest, whatever we want, Grisha fun. And we are dressed up in our cosplay.
Yeah.
I would love to compliment Terry. Go girl. She is dressed up in some fabulous Milo. Look at that. Sporting it. And even, did the wonderful, seriously, that voice was great in the opening.
Oh, yes. I
Practiced.
I did practice that on the way here because I knew that I would laugh if
That was great. Caught me off guard.
that
so
was
much.
the point.
I couldn't even, Lord. Well, that was good.
So yes, please like and follow our Facebook and our YouTube.
Yes.
So that you can see all this wonderful fun we're having in our costumes.
Exactly. And I am dressed up as the bonesmith, Ilya Mortsova.
I love the chains.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
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 I am the one.
Looking good.
Thanks. Yes. I am the Darkland's daddy. Well, no, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait. Granddaddy.
Granddaddy.
Yes.
I am
Bagra's
daddy.
Yes, Bagra's daddy.
Bagra's daddy.
Yeah.
But, yes,
So your grandpapa.
Yes. And Waffles is over here having some What's going on, Waffles?
Yes, Waffles the dog is in the studio.
Oh.
I think
Ooh.
she's scratching a back or something over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does that.
Aw. She's so cute. I just didn't know what was going on over there for a second. All of a sudden I was like,
She is a
I thought she was asleep.
yeah, she's a big dog.
She's awake now.
Yeah.
Hi, Waffles. Okay.
Hello.
So, anyways, yes, this is going to be I love October. I think it's fun. I love that we do this little thing.
Oh yes.
It's so funny how it started too, because the whole reason for it was just because Chris put us on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
And we were like, oh, really? And we're like, okay, well,
let's have some fun.
let's try to get people to follow us on YouTube. So we're like, okay, we'll try to do cosplay.
And now it's a tradition.
Exactly. So eventually one day we'll run out of ideas, but until then,
they'll just get better.
yeah. We've got some good. I'm excited. We've got some really good ones. I'm excited to show you. We even kind of try to play off of one another. So,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So just keep tuning in.
This one probably doesn't really, go together.
No, I would have. You'd never really see Ilya Mortsova and Milo together.
No.
Well, because Milo's really from the show. He just is a new character, and Ilya Mortsova really is he's the father of the Grishaverse, kind of. I feel like he is,
started the whole thing.
Yeah, he's the granddaddy of Grisha.
Yeah.
So, and hey, he's actually in the chapters we get to read about today.
So that's fitting.
It is. It's perfect. So, yeah. Anyways, and I've got some nice little chains and some shackles.
Yeah, I like them. That was very creative.
Yes, they're paper.
You did a little arts and crafts.
I did. Yes, there was a little last minute little fumbling. I thought Chris had ordered me some, and found out just a couple hours ago. And I was like, well, you know what? Nobody can put a queen down. I'm gonna get up in my arts and crafts room.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Get those chains.
Just cut and paste, and here we go. Shackles.
Shackles. I
Yeah.
mean, it works. It really does work.
It really does. You might hear me everywhere.
Yes.
I
Can hear the rustling around.
can. Construction paper and
There's no losing Mort's over this time.
no. Sorry. You know, yeah, and I doubt these would really keep me from like surviving. I don't
Well,
think
yeah.
they'd like keep me like at the bottom of the river.
No.
They'd probably disintegrate, but
Well, you broke through.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Somehow, apparently.
Somehow you broke those chains.
I did.
Somehow with your brute strength.
Yes. Yeah. Well, with hard work and determination, here I am with you, lovely people.
I am so happy you're here.
Yeah, I'm happy to be with you, Milo. I mean, and look at you sporting some gold.
Yeah.
Look at that bling.
Yeah, speaking of last minute.
Yeah, that is some last minute thing.
I was like, wait a minute.
Ooh,
Bullet.
exactly. Whose
So-
husband's a cop?
Yes.
Where we got a bullet from?
So I was like, I know if I ask.
Exactly.
There will be one here because there certainly isn't one in my house.
No. Yep. Well, we found one, and there it is.
Although I
It's
probably
cute.
could have asked my boss, but I didn't think about it in time. So
Hey, it's nice. It's those last minute details
Yes.
that always
It
count.
pulls it together.
It does.
It does.
So
Can't even see my eyes.
no, you can't. But I love that because that's what like really pulls this whole look together. It's so cute. It's awesome.
Oh.
Is it comfortable?
It is.
Like,
I
is
mean,
it
it was
snuggly?
like it's this little pajama like onesie thing that you can get on Amazon.
Mhm.
So if you want one for yourself, if you want to live the Milo fantasy,
Girl,
then just check
I think-
check Amazon.
Our whole like tonight's episode is brought by Amazon
Brought to you
because
by
just same here. If you would like to
Amazon.
dress up as either of our characters, just go to Amazon.
Yes. But so the outfit, like the whole thing, I had to cut it off because the crotch goes down to like my knees for some reason, but then the leg part of it is only like a foot long. So I just had to cut the bottom off because that's not going to
Oh.
happen. I mean, there's no way I would ever wear it like that because that is just not comfortable
right.
at all. So I just cut it off right at the tail.
Well, see, and that's what's nice. I was really considering just wearing this top part because this bottom part is really hot.
It is
Um,
hot.
It is. But hey, at least now
You're committed.
I am.
Committed to the bit.
Yeah, I think it really is like some kind of. I think it's like a Friar Tuck costume or something from Robin Hood.
Or like a cardinal pain or something.
Who knows? It came with a cross. I just threw that away. I'm sorry. I mean, I don't need it for the character. I mean, I couldn't. Yeah. Anyways, so how was your week? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
sorry.
a Jew. Sorry. Oops.
It's been a week. It's been very.
I didn't
very
mean it
busy.
that way.
Sure, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. We all know.
Yeah, I'll accept that.
Yes, you should.
Yep.
You should take it.
Yep, I will. I'll bend over now.
Wow.
Well, okay.
That went there.
So it did.
So yes.
It's a little hot in here.
So yes, it's a little sweaty.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes, this week very busy.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't really tell you why it was busy.
Yeah.
I just felt like I was because I'm getting ready for the soap market. And nope, the soap market. I'm selling my soaps at a market. Wow, y'all,
The soap
that was
market.
a lot. I keep saying soap market and everybody's like, there's a market that just sells soap.
It brings together a pretty interesting image.
Yes. So there is a market that I will be selling soap at.
Okay.
And I'm having to make like 500 bars. So it's very busy. It's go to work and then come home and pour that soap.
Okay. Where is this happening?
In Mount Juliet, Tennessee,
Okay.
at the
Is there like
Charlie Daniels Park in the
Really?
in
Like
the
out of
in the rec center thing, the community center.
okay, so like literally, like is it dedicated like just like a soap thing?
No.
Okay. You're building.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's called Home for the Holidays.
Okay, girl.
And
Gotcha.
all the crafters and all the people that sell things.
Okay, I get it. I thought you.
Yeah.
I was like, dang, you
I
lucked
know.
out. I was
That's-
like, out of everywhere, the soap market happens to be in your hometown.
That's why I have to like stop saying the soap market
because it's
because it's not a soap market. I
You
think
are the
it's just
soap
me
market.
and one other person selling soap in like this
But still,
gigantic thing. So,
well, that's all that matters.
well, yeah, I don't want to be around a bunch of people that sell soap because I want everybody to buy mine,
Well, yeah.
buy my soap.
Although, what an interesting convention that would be.
I'm sure there is one. I'm sure there is a soap making convention out there. That would be some interesting cosplay.
That would be.
Just like Bubbles, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But that's my life right now. It's very boring. I do get to play Opry Wife this weekend. So if anybody is near the Opry on Saturday,
That's where you'll
then
be.
that's where I will be if you want to come say hi. There is a plaza party. There'll be some hot dogs and there'll be artists.
Hot dogs.
My partner is hosting the plaza party, so I have to go play Opry Wife.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's
I
fun.
just got to stand around and look pretty.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
Well, we've been really busy. We've had some personal stuff, and thank you, everybody. I know we're going to be putting this out a little bit later than normal. We've just had a lot of personal stuff going on,
Sorry.
but we love you. And you know what's great is this actually has been able to get our mind off of things,
Mhm.
and we're going to be okay. We love everybody, and don't worry, we're just personal stuff going on in our family, and we are strong, and we love everybody, and anyways, yeah, so it's just been it's been a long week. I'm excited. I was excited to be able to put this together. This is nice.
Yes.
And I am
Nothing
still
like
reading.
a little cosplay.
I know. So we've got our chapters.
We do have our chapters.
So maybe we should get up and into that. Mhm.
Up and in them.
Yeah. And you know what is dangerous, Gur?
What?
We didn't set a timer.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Whoa.
So we have no clue. I don't know whether we've been talking for 5 minutes or an hour so far. Oh, wonderful. Our producer just gladly told us.
That's
Okay.
why we have
Him.
somebody who knows what's going on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. Oh, it is so hot in this get up. Whew. Okay, so let's start. Chapter 21 is me.
Yep, that's
Yep.
you.
That is me. And what's interesting is this is like our thank you. I really do need that. It feels so good. Whew. I should have brought my fan. I've
You
got
should've.
one. So this is the first time that we have a chapter dedicated to the monk, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's kind of interesting because
Yeah, in Rule of Wolves, we have a few chapters that are like different than the norm.
yeah, and this actually so it actually is a darkling, which is neat. And it's what's really cool is one, it's the first time that we're going inside the darkling's head for the first time in a very long
Scary.
time.
Very scary.
Yes, but it's also like it's not just him. It's like him and Yuri. So we got like a.
It's like a battle,
I know it's like this. It's 2 in 1. You know.
like body snatchers.
Yeah, we've got like
Tale of the Body Thief.
Ooh.
Anne
Oh.
Rice. Sorry.
Yes. By the way, that book is getting very dark that I'm reading about
good.
those vampires.
Good.
Okay, anyways. So Yuri and Darkling, Darkling is mainly controlling this conversation. And he's just like, I keep on imagining this magic carpet ride, even though he's not on a magic carpet ride. But he's just like, his Nisha Boy are just kind of like, just having him floating along, he's just floating along. And he's just kind of thinking about how his plan worked. Because this is the first time that we know what's happened after he magically escaped from the whole Alina and whole escape thing. He got away. He's
The
free
whole
now.
escape thing.
Yeah, he's alive now.
He is alive.
Yeah, and he's
Yep.
actually he's free. He's got his power too. So big thing. One thing that keeps happening, Yuri won't shut up that Alina is alive. So that's one thing. Like Yuri has, the whole world in Grisha land, Grishaverse, thinks that like Alina died. So Yuri's just like, oh my god, and Darkling's like whatever. Yes, she's alive. Yes, we know. Blah blah blah. Lord. So anyways, they keep on going on this little magic carpet ride and end up I guess the Nichovoya drop him off near this little small town, and the Darkling notices like little statues of like I guess it's kind of the different saints that are being worshipped. There's a lot of saints everywhere. But he notices like little statues of Alina, little statues of Juris, but he's a little sad because he doesn't notice any of the Starless Saint.
Oh, boo.
Boo. And this is where him and Yuri finally find something to agree upon, that they're like, you know what, one day there will be people that will like, and it's like, Lord, of course. Yeah. Like, what are they going to do? Like, yeah, I'm sorry. I just don't see that. But anyways, so he begins to have a flood of memories start coming down, because we have to remember, okay, the Darkling has been around forever. So like he knows Ravka like the back of his hand. Like really, like he knows so much about it. So he ends up in this town, but he starts to recognize it too. And I don't think he meant to end up in this town, but also I think it's kind of ironic at the same time. So one thing is that starts to happen is he has this flood of names start coming through his head. And if you've read any of the short stories, then you know that the Darkling, and it's been mentioned, he has had many names. We know that. The
Yes.
Darkling has gone by many names. So a big list of those are listed right here. And he decides that he's going to go by the oldest one, Alexander, or Alexander, whatever you want to call it. And which I find is very interesting, which also reminded me how, like, in the show, I still am just struck by the fact that they dropped that so soon in the
They
show.
gave that away so easily.
I know. I
Yeah.
still think that's so interesting.
We had to work for that.
I know. I still am just like,
Yeah.
I wonder what the reason. I
don't know.
I know. Interesting. But what's neat is like the short story. Yeah, we'll learn more about this. Anyways, and one of those names is Eric, by the way. ERYK. Hello. Okay. Anyways, so he's decided he's gonna go by Alexander, the oldest name, and that leads me to a question for you, Terry. So if you had if you're in the Darkling's position, or well, not in the Darkling's position, but if you had to pick a name to go by, like if you're in this position, like if you had the choice to, what name would you go by?
Oh gosh.
I know. Like
I don't know.
It's very interesting. Like if you had the choice to pick a name to go by.
Yeah, because I've always actually hated my name. And so
Okay, so what do you want to go by?
I have no clue, because I did think at one point I would go by my middle name, but then the hurricane came around and I was like, never mind, I don't want to do that. So I actually have no idea. I love the name like Josephine.
Oh yes, I know you do.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Seraphine. Like I love those kinds of names. So probably something like that.
Yeah.
I want a more poetic name. I know that probably sounds so stupid, but like nobody is going to write a song with my name in it. So, but even if my parents had stuck with half of my name, because what they did is they took Tara, like the house from Gone with the Wind, and Perry from my mom's side of the family. It's the last name on that side, and they combined the two to make my name. So even if they had just gone with Tara, I would have been okay with that, because that's more, I don't know, poetic.
Yeah.
But yeah, nobody's writing songs and poems about Terry. So.
Well.
Boo on them.
Well, at least
you got a whole lot of information.
Thank God my father won. My mother, up until like the last hour that I was born, was diehard going to name me Elvis. Like, I'm not like, and my father luckily convinced her the last hour, like, was like, no, we can't
Oh
do
my
that. And
gosh.
thank God.
Could you imagine being like
I-
little gay boy in high school with the name Elvis?
I would be Elvis Barry Ginsburg.
No.
That would be horrible.
Yeah, that's not nice.
So thank God. Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dad.
Yeah.
But anyways, as names go, I actually like recently had to think about what my like fairy name would be, which was really a fun like turn of like just ways to think about things, and that was really fun. It took me a really long time to come up with like a first name, and I always knew what the last name would be, which I know you would hate at first, but I changed the spelling. So I always loved Sealy, of course.
Well, yeah.
But I changed the spelling of it to be, it's kind of like a twist, even though like it's weird. My lucky number, our lucky number is 13. So I actually made it where it's the Roman numeral XIII, like where instead of having an S, it has the X and then the 3 I's and LY. So that being a weird, you'd have to spell it that
Wow.
way. I know. It's a stretch, but hey.
It's your world.
Exactly. Sealy. So whatever.
Okay.
Zeely or whatever. But the first name I came up with, you know what? I can't say this yet because I have to
Wow.
reveal this to some people. So,
Okay.
you know what? I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm not going to say that yet.
That was a roller coaster of events there, and for nothing. Thanks.
Okay, so fine. I'll tell you. Okay. So the first name that I finally came up with, and I was really excited about, was Auroran. And because it's based off of my favorite fairy tale,
Our favorite
Sleeping Beauty,
tale.
Aurora.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the fact that it's got the word aura in it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so Auroran.
Well, cool.
I know.
That is cool.
Auroran Sealy. Who knew? In some magical world, I guess that's what I'd go by.
Wow.
Yep, that was probably 5 minutes. I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't expect it to take that long. Okay, so that was a very long minute there.
We got there.
We did.
Well, and I also shared a bunch of stuff you didn't ask for, so.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
We know. Did we ever figure out what you would like to go by?
No.
You never answered.
I mean, it would be something like Josephine, Seraphine, something of that nature.
Okay.
I don't.
You don't
I'm
still know?
terrible with names because I'm like squirrel with names. I love names, and then there's a new name that I love that name. So I would change it all the time, I guess.
Well, how easy was it for you to name your children?
Very difficult.
Really?
Yes, I had a very long list of names, and as I heard them, and as I heard other people calling their children that, I would cross it off. And so, I mean, the first one was a little easier because it had to start with an R, so that was a little easier. But yeah, that's how I did it. It was all these like unique names, and then as I heard them, because I didn't want them to have any friends with the same name,
right?
Or I didn't want them to be able to find their name at the little
Yeah.
like, what are those things?
Oh my
like,
God.
like on a
I
little
know.
cup or
Keychain
keychain or
yeah.
something. Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
that's a weird thing, but that's me.
Well, I agree. Yeah, it sucks to be like, it's nice to have a unique name. I like it.
The younger one was almost Maverick.
Oh wow.
Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Interesting. So, continuing on, they find a church that they hobble on into, and they find up on the altar happens to be a picture of a saint. Me!
Woo!
Picture of me. Yes, me, Eric. No. Ilya Mortsova. So here's a quote. He really did know this place. He had come back to the beginning. This church had been raised over the ruins of the home of Ilya Mortsova, Alexander's grandfather, a man thrown to his death from the very bridge Alexander had crossed on his way into town. He had been known as the bonesmith, the greatest fabricator to ever live, and yet he had been much more than that, end quote. So, yes, that's why I thought it'd be great to also dress up in this fabulous garment because it goes along with our story. But so Alexander goes down into the basement of this church, and as we know, it's built on top of a special place, and he knows a little bit about it, and he finds this door, and apparently, I guess he's trying to go. I guess he's trying to find his grandfather's old workshop, and he finds this door, gets inside it, and the whole purpose of this is he wants to find his grandfather's journals and stuff, because he knows that his grandfather was successful at creating those first amplifiers. He was. Unfortunately, the Darkling has not been too successful at trying to create things. When he did, he created the fold, and he could use a couple of little tips. So, needs a little help here. So Alexander also has this little memory of Baaaaaast showing him when he was younger, this church, and how she just laughed at how much she thought it was hilarious that there was this church now over where the old workshop used to be, and that they praised him because the people of this village literally killed him. And she just,
Whoops.
yeah, she was like, they killed him. And she said, I didn't take the quote, but she says how they love the idea of power, but they don't like the real thing. The illusion of power is
Right.
what they love, but they like it on a painting.
Yeah.
But when it's real, that's it.
It's too scary and too real.
And that is so true.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, this is also, I didn't notice this in the first read, but this time I did. Yuri shares his story with the Darkling.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't go too far. It doesn't really we just read that he shares it with the Darkling. We don't know what
Right.
that story is. And the Darkling's like, oh, great. Glad to know I saved you. Whatever. Interesting. Just put a little feather in that one. Anyways, Alexander goes back upstairs, and there is a service going on now, and he decides that it is time for a miracle, and there is going to be a new saint, and he has come up with an idea. And so he lets his powers pour shadows out of the portrait of Ilya Morozova up on the altar. It's shadows coming out of its mouth, and I'm going to read this quote, which is going to end the chapter. He gusted through the church, disguising himself in a whirling cloud of shadow, and the congregants screamed. Alexander couldn't simply appear again, resurrected. There were too many old grudges, and there would be too many questions. No, there was a better story here. He would become Yuri, let the boy do the talking for him, and when the time came, the monk would be his chosen one, a boy who came from nothing, endowed with great power. They'd loved Alina's little fairy tale. They'd loved this one too. He would go to the fold. He would find those who followed the starless saint. He would teach the world awe. End quote. So interesting. The Darklings come up with this idea that, he's gonna pretty much make Yuri his tool.
Yes.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. So that's the end of that chapter.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
So we move on to chapter 22, which follows Nina. Are you surprised?
Oh, yes.
With the bombing of Ozalta, if you remember that from last week, Nina is in a very bad mood. She's in a funk, and she is laying in bed, all depressed thinking about the events that have gone on the past couple days. Hana had stuck up for the prince while Broom and the others were mocking him for his, illness and weakness. And Broom actually said something that I feel needs to be earmarked, which is why I'm bringing this up. He says, quote, "There is no punishment for a prince, Hana, and you would do well to remember it. Rasmus may favor you now, but if his opinion turns sour, I will be unable to protect you," end quote.
Put a pin in it.
Put a pin in that. Maybe some
Or a feather, like I
foreshadowing.
say.
I don't know, but I just, that's It's one of those things that you just kind of have to go, that happened.
hmm
She had heard about the bombing of Alzalta during an event with Broom's family, and she couldn't show it.
See, that's gotta be so hard.
Yeah, so like
could you
you're standing
imagine?
there and you're like, oh, hey, your hometown is just like decimated and bombed, and you have to be like, yay.
And your whole family's there,
Uh-huh.
and you can
All your friends and family,
and
she has
Uh-uh.
to just,
pretend like
like,
you have no clue.
awesome, yay. So she obviously can't hide it very well, because who could? I mean, so she like runs away, and she is very sick. She's physically ill, and she makes Hana promise that she will make the prince sick again. Promise me,
Wow.
Hana, you will make him sick. While she's in this funk, because I mean, yeah, that's awful
Yeah.
news. The queen has asked for her again, so she gets herself up and she gets out of this funk, and she asks Hana to tailor her so that she would look less funky.
Get rid of that funk, girl.
Yes, wipe that funk away.
Sounds like a song.
Another like fun little moment during this, Hana tells Nina to stop holding her breath. She doesn't need to hold her breath, which Nina answers by biting her lip at Hana, and it makes Hana blush. Oh, so cute. Nina is sure the prince, not the prince. Nina is sure the queen. The queen asks
queen.
for Nina. Hello,
Hello,
Milo. Get your stuff together. So she's
Bah.
sure the queen wants to see her because the prince's health must be failing because of what Hana's done. And on the way there, she reaches out to the spirits. And Lindor, which sounds delicious, Rundholm, who is the previous lady in waiting, speaks up and says, I want an end to the Grimger line. And Nina only says that she can promise revenge. Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
sounds very Game of Thrones.
It does kind of.
Jeez.
She again lets the queen know that she knows her little secret of killing the Grisha that helped her son. And when the queen asked what she should do, Nina tells her to stop the war with Ravka. That is very bold. Like that is
Yeah.
really bold, and that is a huge risk that she just took there.
Yeah.
Like, hey, royalty person.
Just stop it.
So the stop with the war, but like also stop killing Grisha, because the royal family should be in charge of these things, not Broom. Which is Nina kind of makes this like comment of like, you're letting Broom run this, and you should be running this as the royal family. So stop doing it. But like, wow, like the guts on this
I know,
girl.
exactly. Like that is
Who talks to a queen that way?
I find it very hard that the queen wouldn't recognize that.
Right? Like this whole like, I don't know. She's doing this under the mask of like, Jell speaks to me. Woo.
'Cause come on, like the queen, when you grow up in royalty, you know that you're taught things like that. Like obviously, which by
Yeah.
the way, oh my god, talking about royalty,
Oh boy.
I made it 2 minutes. Did you know that they made a musical about Diana that's on Netflix?
Yes.
Don't. I tried just 2 minutes and it was like,
I hadn't planned on it.
it looked, oh my god. I was like, I'm just gonna give it a shot, and I was like, oh my god,
No. Don't do it.
No. Anyways, royalty.
Yeah. So Nina then remembers that she had heard the word that I don't know how to pronounce, Drokastering, when she was in her funk. And it meant that the Druskella were going to be in the woods far, far away. And she had the opportunity to break Magnus Opger out of the ice court.
Jeez.
So while they're out doing their thing in
shaky.
the woods, she's going to go break them out. And that's the end of the chapter.
Is it?
It is.
Dang.
Yeah.
Flying on through these. Well, then we go to chapter 23, which is Nikolai, which is really actually a fast chapter as well, just to let you know. So Nikolai is up late pondering about David. Of course, they're still upset. David was, of course, he meant a lot to all of us. We should light a candle for him. to be
Yes.
honest. Yes.
Mhm.
So he's kind of looking over the blueprints and notes. And while he's doing that, he sees Zoya sneaking away. You know,
Sneaky.
just wandering off in the snow in this blue hood. And girl, I actually like see this in my mind, and oh my
Yes. The
god,
first read through of this,
Oh,
it was beautiful.
isn't
Yeah.
it?
Mhm.
Snow, a
Yeah.
blue hood, it's fur. Oh my god, I want it.
And it's like gardeny.
I know.
Like, yeah.
I want this scene so bad.
Yes.
I
It's
wanna
a
be
beautiful scene.
it.
It was well written, and you can actually.
Visualize,
Yeah.
like see it.
Mhm.
So, that's why we do this thing. Anyways, it's said in this, like when you're reading this, that I guess he's either like seen her before or had like heard that she's like snuck off before. There's like like something where he's like had clues about it.
Yes.
It's not.
Isn't there like talk that she.
It's something about that. It's not like we've read it before,
Right.
but it's kind of like
It's
hinted.
understood that
Yeah.
she's. Yeah.
So he has never ever done anything about it. And he kind of, for some reason, this time decides I might.
Because maybe she's seeing some man, I think is what he was thinking, right? Like he was
Well-
like, who, like maybe she's.
But when he thinks that, he doesn't want to know that. Like
Well, yeah.
he's like, I don't want to know that. That's up to her. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's fine. And like, I think honestly, it's just he's always like, obviously we know that he's been longing for her,
Yeah.
and as it's getting closer, I think his relationship with her, because now the war, David just passed away. He's realizing, I think now, since him
Yeah.
and his demon have actually, their relationship has like gotten more sealed. He's actually understanding himself more. I think he's realizing he could die at any moment. And I
Yeah.
think he's actually kind of wanting to probably just be more truthful. So I think that's why he's actually taking this risk. So he goes and follows her. He does. He just decides, well, you know what? I'm going to follow her. So he does. And she ends up going through the woods and like goes past like these old water gardens, all this stuff, bringing back all these old memories and blah, 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 blah. And surprise, like he doesn't understand where she's going at one point, and all of a sudden she lifts back these like vines, and there's this hidden door, and he's just like, ooh, I didn't know that was there. Like, girl got some secrets.
Yeah.
And then he's a little mad because he's like, dang, well, like, how did I not even know
Right.
about this? Like, that's crazy.
This is my place.
So she goes in, and then he gets up to the door. And when he gets to the door, he notices that what's on it is there's an emblem or some kind of picture that has the same 2 stars that we've read about that are in her room, that we know goes back to, her and her aunt.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, he goes in, and when he goes inside, it's what used to be the old vegetable garden. And it actually like is now like a flower garden,
Yeah.
and it's pretty. And he just like, anyways, she actually has known he's been following her. So Zoya says like, I'm without even like facing him, she just explains that what this place is a place that like it started out that after she lost her aunt in Novosibirsk, she needed a place to be alone. So she went and she found this place, and when she found it, she kind of thought maybe it was like this little gift that her aunt had given her, and she planted a flower, and ever since then she has planted a flower or some kind of plant to symbolize every Grisha they've lost. So she kind of like has this list that she kind of goes through. It's kind of beautiful because when you
Zoya
really,
has feelings.
yeah, like, and see, that's why I love this chick so much. Like, girl, she deep. So, anyways, so that is bringing us to our scene, which is also going to bring us to the end of the chapter, okay, and the end of our stuff for the evening. So, Terry is going to play Nikolai. And I'm going to be playing Zoya, of course. Duh. And yeah, so this is going to be just reading through the end of the chapter. You got your scene, girl. You
I
ready?
do.
Woo! Girl, you sure can see those. Sorry, I just looked over at her screen. That's some big font.
It's only a 16. I just have it zoomed in.
I can see.
Well, good. We can share a screen
I
then.
know. Like, damn. Whew. It's okay. I do have glasses on, so I'm sure if I took these off, I wouldn't be able to see. But I just thought it was funny because that's some big font over there. Okay. So, anyways, first off, a very special thank you for our background music created by Kendra Dantes and Yield 26. Okay. So, okay. Curtain up.
See, if you had the font bigger on that, you could have seen it.
I can see it fine. Right. Do you see what grows around this place?
Nikolai peered at the twisted gray branches that ran along the perimeter of the garden. A thornwood. An ordinary one, he assumed, not the ancient trees they needed for the Obispaya.
I took the cuttings from the tunnel that leads to the little palace. It's all prickles and spines and anger, covered in pretty useless blossoms and fruit too bitter to eat. There's nothing in it worth loving.
How wrong you are.
Zoya's gaze snapped to his, her eyes flashing silver, dragon's eyes. Am I?
Look at the way it grows, protecting everything within these walls, stronger than anything else in the garden, weathering every season. No matter the winter it endures, it blooms again and again.
What if the winter is just too long and hard? What if it can't bloom again?
He was afraid to reach for her, but he did it anyway. He took her gloved hand in his. She didn't pull away, but folded into him like a flower closing its petals at midnight. He wrapped his arm around her. Zoya seemed to hesitate, and then with a soft breath, she let herself lean into him. Zoya the deadly. Zoya the ferocious. The weight of her against him felt like a benediction. He had been strong for his country, his soldiers, his friends. It meant something different to be strong for her. Then you'll be branches without blossoms, he whispered against her hair, and you let the rest of us be strong until the summer comes.
It wasn't a metaphor.
Of course it wasn't. He wished they could stand there forever in the silence of the snow, that the peace of this place could protect them.
She wiped her eyes and he realized she was crying. If you had told me 3 years ago that I would shed tears over David Kostik, I would have laughed at you.
Nikolai smiled. You would have hit me with your shoe.
He and I, we had nothing in common. Our decision to side with Alina was what bound us, the choice to fight beside her when we knew the odds were in the Darkling's favor. He had the more experienced fighters, years of understanding and planning.
But we won.
We did, she said, for a while.
So how did you do it? How did we do it?
Honestly, I don't know. Maybe it was a miracle. Maybe Alina really is a saint.
Grief has made you delirious. But if we got lucky with one miracle, maybe we'll get lucky again.
They left the garden and walked back through the woods. On the path, they parted as they always did. She to the Grisha, and he to the Grand Palace. He wanted to call her back. He wanted to follow her through the snow. But his country didn't need a heartsick boy chasing after a lonely girl. It needed a king.
And a king they will have, he said to no one at all, and strode back to the dark rooms of the palace.
Oh, end scene. Brava.
Oh.
I loved it. That was so pretty.
Oh.
I know. So good, girl. Ugh. Yes. Gives me chills. Love it. Okay. Yeah, sorry. I got a little too like.
Take a breath.
Okay. So I'm back. Okay. So it's that time for GrishaCast news. Let's take it live to our Grisha in the field, Alex.
Hello. Thank you guys so much. Unfortunately, this week we don't have any news in terms of the Grishaverse, but I do have some personal news, which is super exciting. The Crow Club on Instagram will be hosting a 1,000 follower giveaway where we are giving away a collector's edition of Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. So if you want to head over to the Crow Club on Instagram and check that out, that would be absolutely wonderful. The giveaway will happen at 1,500 followers. And in my personal news, I was able to be a guest on my partner's podcast, Cinematic Rewind, where we talked about Beetlejuice. So if you want to check that out, it is Cinematic Rewind on any listening platforms, including Audible. So yeah, thank you guys so much. Have a great one.
That is awesome. Oh my gosh,
Yay.
Yes.
Congrats on 1,000.
Yes, congratulations, everybody. Check that out.
Yes.
We definitely will. And yes, oh my God, what a great giveaway. That is awesome. Those are wonderful books. That is definitely a good giveaway. So, yes, follow those instructions. Get those books. Come on, peeps. Anyway, so, thank you, Alex. Okay, so next week we will be, up in some more get up. So come on. I hope you all follow us on YouTube and check us out and see what we look like.
Check us out.
Yeah, see what all this Ilya Moritsova and Milo garb look like. And next week we'll be covering chapters 24 and 25.
Yay.
So, long live the Grishaverse.
Like, we're at the end of the hour, so my voice is a little husky. A+.
No mourners.
No funerals.
This has been GrishaCast. Connect with us on the web at GrishaCast.com. Send an email to info@GrishaCast.com.
Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok at GrishaCast.
Thank you to Kendra Dantes and Year 26 for the amazing background music. Our staff, Chris, Alex, Sid, Michelle, and Amber.